In this week's episode of Portugal Farm Life, we have some big changes. Our neighbour Joaquim is here to collect the grass for his sheep, and we have some new life on the farm, and with that, some strange animals that we've never seen before. But it's not all good news, as unfortunately things also went really bad for us.
Yeah, we have some bad news, and
So tuck in, get comfortable, and I hope you enjoy watching.
Hey guys, it's Ken here from OKportugal, and I got something very cool happening on the farm right in front of me. Our next door neighbour Joaquim has brought his tractor around, and we're going to be cutting all of the fields here. Now normally the grass would get cut towards the end of May, but we're a little bit early. I think that's something to do with the very wet and warm spring that we've had. So yeah, and these fields are looking incredible. So this is the cutter, and as you can see, we've got this big blade over here, which is basically chained by the tractor. If you've seen my videos, this is going to be our 5th year of doing this, so you're going to have seen this before. You see how the tractor is actually making these little cutting blades work. Joaquim's going right up against the wall here to get as much of that grass as possible. And yeah, look at the difference. Look at the difference between the tall grass over here and all of this cut grass, how it's taken it all the way down. And let me just do this quickly so you can see the difference. Amazing. So this happens once a year. Basically, we start to grow grasses in the winter. In the spring, the grasses come all the way up. And then we get them cut, and basically Joaquim takes all of this grass for his sheep. You know, because obviously Gina and I have no use for all of this stuff. It's not just grass, it's actually a mixture of like different types of things, like there's wildflowers in here and clovers in here, and there's also a lot of stuff for the sheep to eat. As you can see, we have all sorts of different grains, and we have all of these different things like oats and rye and barley and wheat, and we've got fields stretching all the way down here, absolutely packed. We were supposed to go to the rubbish tip, but I'm busy filming. And actually, this is a really good time for me to introduce you to my stepdad, Jeremy.
What dad?
Hello, Jeremy. Yeah, so this is my stepdad. He's come all the way from South Africa. And yeah.
Don't come here, it's awful.
yeah. Stop coming here, it's terrible.
Stop coming here, don't.
Yeah, leave
Stay away.
Leave it all for us. Right, I'm going to see you guys in a bit.
See you later.
I will open up the gate, yeah. Yeah, look at that blade, huh? Amazing. I've got to keep wary so I don't get chopped up by it. So my stepdad's been here for like a week. I think it's a week. I'm not sure. Actually, no, wait. This is going to be his 2nd week. His 2nd week starts tomorrow. So, yeah, we're going to be heading into Lisbon in a couple of days. First of all, Gina's going to be going into Lisbon. And, yeah, and then my stepdad and I are going to go into Lisbon for like a couple of days. I want to show him this really nice fado club, and yeah, just really give him like a big picture of what it's like to be in Portugal and what it's like around here, what it's like in the city, what it's like in the countryside. And I'm really glad that he's getting to see some of this action as well, you know, getting to see some of the grass cutting and the hay baling. So he seems to be enjoying it so far. I'm really amazed with this field. Basically, this was our worst field. Like, if you look at our driveway and you look at all of this sort of quartz sand, this is basically what this field used to look like. I mean, it did have some greenery growing in it, but it was nothing like this. And over the last 5 years of Joaquim sort of tilling and putting organic matter back and sheep manure and stuff like that, the ground's obviously a lot less compact, and we've been able to grow some fantastic stuff in it. This is the best I've ever seen it. Yeah, it's obviously not as good as our other fields, but considering what the ground used to be like here, it's amazing that we've got it like this. I think this over here is oats. Not entirely sure. Let me get out the way of these machines. Sometimes when you're running around with the camera, you forget where you are. One of the downsides of this grass cutting is it makes all of the flies go completely crazy. I'm not sure if you can see them, but they're landing all over my arms, which is really annoying. Like when you're trying to hold a camera and you're trying to film something. That's why I got this cap on, because my worst is when they land on top of my head. But I think I'm going to have to go in a bit and get myself a long sleeve top. And right now, I know it doesn't quite look like it, but it's actually quite hot. You know, we are in spring, we are on the way into summer. So yeah, I'm starting to work up a bit of a sweat. So you can see the tractor actually makes short work of this. He's got a good speed going on with that tractor there. It's probably about as fast as a human jogs. I'm not sure the exact speed, but definitely a lot quicker than when you till or plow or something like that. So I want to go up here now so I can show you what these other fields look like. But actually, before we get there, these are looking fantastic. This stuff is so tall, unbelievable. So I would say that this is about, well, look at the tractor. It's going sort of almost, well, more than halfway up that big tractor wheel. This is like a mixture of wildflowers, as you can see, and we've got, I think this is oats. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, never ever looked like this before here. We had a really good spring, lots of rain and lots of warmth, and that's obviously contributed to all of this nice grass growth. So that's pretty awesome. And we should still have lots of water. Yeah, look at that. So this is our big agricultural well. We're about, where are we now? Let me see the brick. We're about 1 meter down. We can still go 7 meters below that. So plenty of water to go for the summer. I'm quite interested to see what's going to happen this year with the grass. I think last year on these 3 fields we got around 18 hay bales. These are really big round hay bales, like massive ones. So I've got a feeling we're going to smash that record because these fields are completely packed. Here's an example of what I was talking about, where the ground is not so great over here. It's like lots of courts and stuff. It's quite dry, and this obviously isn't compact, but there were areas in this field where it was quite compact, almost like this. You know, this is like our driveway going up here, and you can see what happens if you don't put organic matter in the soil. If you don't till, you basically get this dry compaction. So yeah, a lot of people tell me, like, you know, you should do no dig and you shouldn't till, but our fields would look like that and not like that if it went for the tilling and all of the stuff that gets put into the soil every year. And I personally think that that is working a lot better. So what else do we have in here? I don't really know the names of most of these, but well, I know this one. So this is a type of clover. This puts nitrogen into the soil. I don't actually know what these are called. I'm sure you viewers at home are going to tell me, but look at that, it's absolutely stunning. This is also completely covered in flowers, and now there's only a couple left. But we've got these in yellow as well, and we've got lupines, which also fix nitrogen in the soil, and you can see the little beans that come off that. Pretty awesome. These are very good. And then obviously the fields just stretch and stretch. Our vineyard is underneath here somewhere. Now I do keep it mowed through the rows, but I like to wait until this grass has been cut before I get out the strimmer and actually tidy up the rows a bit more. But yeah, as you can see, we've got our vines going down in these rows and trellises. And obviously once all of this grass is cut, you know, it's all cut in the middle here obviously, but once the grass is cut, I'll come here with the strimmer and I'll tidy up these rows a bit more, and also bring the mower in here and flatten this out a bit. And you'll be able to actually see that we have a vineyard and not just this craziness happening in the background, which I quite like, by the way. We have such an amazing variety of little flowers and things like that. Now I really hope this camera's picking it up because it's kind of a GoPro lens, but look at that tiny little pink flower over there, and we've got these beautiful ultraviolet purple ones going into sort of these lovely little yellow flowers, these little pink flowers. It's just incredible, like the variety that we have, and this all grows naturally. You know, this is ground that was mowed about 2 weeks ago, and you just can't keep these flowers down. I mean, look at them, they just keep popping up. This is the first time I've had land like this. You know, I've only ever had like a tiny garden or a medium-sized garden, and if I wanted any flowers in any of those gardens, I'd have to go to like, I don't know, like a nursery and buy them. And over here, they just seem to pop up on their own. And you know, if you don't buy flowers and you actually let them pop up naturally, they're very easy to take care of because they actually take care of themselves. From here, you can almost not see the farmhouse. That's how tall the grasses are. It's amazing. Jeez. And look at it over here. I mean, this is like really tall. This is like our little dog walking path that we make through the grass. But as you get through this side, it's actually grown so tall that we've stopped walking the dogs through there for the last few weeks. So Joaquim's making quick work of all of this. Obviously, because the cutting blade is out to the one side, he has to go around in different patterns so that he can cut inwards. And after all of this is cut, as you can see, some of it's still quite green. So it's going to get left on the ground, and the sun's going to do its job, dry it out nicely, and then he's going to come across with his hay baling machine, which is going to attach to the back of one of his tractors, and he's going to roll them up into big hay bales. And the reason why you want them to be dry is because, believe it or not, if you wrap up hay bales, really tight bundles, hay bales of this green stuff, it starts to compost. And I don't know if you know this about compost, but it starts to get really hot. And if you've got that all tightly packed inside a hay bale, that hay bale can actually burst into flame and it can burn your farm, you know. So you've got to make sure that this stuff is nice and dry. You also want to be cutting the grass when there's definitely no rain coming down, because you can have nice dry sort of hay bales and then the rain comes down, wets them, and then you've got yourself a fire problem. So yeah, that's something I actually only learned about, I don't know, 4.5 years ago when I first arrived on the farm. I've got the wrong camera here right now, but we've got some big birds in the sky. That one's actually a stork. But in the background, I'm pretty sure I just saw a black vulture. I think it's a black vulture. It's like the Eurasian vulture. But just the best time of year. I mean, whew, you know, just an abundance of everything. And the weather's not too hot, not too cold, just perfect. All of the animals are out. Everything's looking absolutely stunning. Although I must say today we've got this haze. Like we had these beautiful blue skies and now it's kind of turned into like a little bit of a haze. But you know what? You can't have it perfect all the time. Not even in Portugal. Oh yeah, look at these ones. These are almost like little orchid things. I don't know if you've seen these little orchid things. They almost look like monkeys or whatever. Well, these aren't those, but they look quite similar. And they're very sweet. And these ones are quite dry now. I think when they're fresher, they do look a lot better. And then we've got these beautiful ones here. Look at this, almost like a purple trumpet type flower. So much variety, and it's just growing all on its own. So if you did get yourself a farm in Portugal and you've been watching my videos, you might think that like this is what you have to do every year, and that you're going to need a tractor and a grass cutter and you're going to need a hay baler and you're going to need all of this stuff. But the actual truth is that you don't need all of that. You only need that if you're going to be making hay bales. So, you know, a lot of the work that you get seen, you know, done in these videos is actually not something that I would actually do if it went for Joaquim's sheep. You know, we wouldn't be sort of planting things in the field, so we wouldn't really be tilling the fields. We would be letting them grow more sort of naturally, and you know, we wouldn't have to cut the grass like this and bale it up. So a lot of the work that you actually see happening with the tractor wouldn't have to happen, but you probably still would want a tractor. You would want something with a flail mower, which is basically, it's like a lawn mower that uses a chain and not a blade. And the reason why you want one of those is because if you do go over rough ground like this, and there might be stones and things like that, a blade would obviously get chopped up, but a flail mower can go through everything. I see Gina's arrived back again, so yeah, basically we have to take our stuff to recycling, so we don't have a bin collection. So from the house, we store some stuff, we stick it in the car, and we go down to our local village, which is about 1.5 kilometers down there, and then we do some recycling. Yeah, and here's Jeremy. Yeah, I've been wanting Jeremy to come and visit the farm for ages, for like almost 5 years now. So he's finally here, and yeah, dude, you're going to get to see some grass cutting action
And meet the famous rocket.
Yes, yeah. Jeremy's been wanting to meet Joaquim for a long time, you know. So I'm sure people at home would all love to meet Joaquim as well. He's an awesome dude, you know.
So great to be here when one of the big farm events of the year are happening.
Yeah, Jeremy's leaving the day before the cheese festival, which is so.
They didn't warn me.
Yeah. So I'm glad that this is going to happen, because at least you're going to get to see something.
Exactly.
You know, at that cheese festival, you would have been able to taste the cheese that comes from this grass.
Yeah.
But
it's a great pity.
Well, now you can see the grass. If you want, you can sample some of this, huh? And get the flavors.
Yeah.
So Joaquim's done the front field, and now we move on to the next one. Joaquim. This is Jeremy.
Nice to meet you.
Jeremy, Joaquim.
Jeremy. Nice to meet you. Tudo bem?
Danny, Gina, amigo.
Amigo, see.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to get through all these little tight gaps and stuff, you can actually fold this thing up. And I'm just going to stay out of the way of these blades. Look at these blades, Jeremy.
Oh, look at that.
Jeez. Serious stuff. And yeah, and then you can fit through this little gap.
Which just a few weeks ago you were showing us in the field, and they were all rusty.
And they were all rusty, yeah. Yeah.
Made in Italia.
Made Italia. Fabbrico Italia.
Made in England. Muito bom.
See, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, he loves his Ford tractors, and he also likes his Italian farm implements. I absolutely love these Ford tractors, Jeremy. Look how cool they look. I mean, isn't this thing just so purposeful?
Yeah.
You know that these tires are actually, they've got water inside. they got water inside. It makes them heavier so that you get more traction, so that the tractor, because otherwise the tires will just spin. You know, there's so much torque.
Joaquim, 50 anos.
50 anos. Yeah.
Wow. Trator. Ford.
Yeah.
50 anos.
Unbelievable.
Exatamente. Yeah, since. Wow, huh? Incredible. He's been driving these tractors since he was a little kid. So here we go. We start the next little bit. He can't really go very far because of the vineyards.
What's he going to do then?
He's going to stop. Yeah, it was a close stop. And then he's going to do this little section. I think he's going to. Yeah, and then he's going to come around and do this section. Look how well it's cut all of this. It's amazing. It looks like it hasn't cut this, but look at that. You just brush it away with your foot. So Jeremy's just going to go back up to the farmhouse. I'm going to stay in the field because I want to see the rest of this action. So Joaquim's already finished this whole patch. He's moved on down past the farmhouse. But what's quite nice is I'm down here, and I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there's the sound of all these little crickets and things in the bushes. I'm just going to keep quiet for a second so you can hear. In fact, the little cricket is right in front of me here. It's probably going to jump. There we go. He jumped off. These fields are home to so many animals. Like when it's like this, obviously all of the insects and bees and things like that have really been benefiting off them. And it's kind of sad because they do have to go, because, you know, in a month's time or so, it's going to be like summertime and it's going to be a massive fire risk, all of this grass around here. So we do have to get this all cut. But obviously it's a big shame because it's going to displace a whole bunch of little animals. You've got like little mice and you've got all sorts of little reptiles and things. So I make sure that I do leave like verges and bushes and things like that. You'll see around like our bottom field and stuff, we've got like big hedgerows and things. And I'm not sure, I might actually leave a nice sort of hedgerow along here where the vines are. But I'm still going to figure that out. You know, I don't want to take away all the habitats of things. Like when we were in our bottom field the other day, there were all these like little field mice, and when I can just hear all of the insects here, it's, you know, it's going to be a big displacement of things. So yeah, even small scale farming like this, you can have a big impact on the animals and the plant life and stuff like that around you. How awesome does this look? So cool, man. I can't believe that we've been here for nearly 5 years. Hello, Eddie. Edmundo. Look at this doggy. Eddie, come here, my sausage. This is Edmundo, Serra de Estrella mountain dog. And Mimo. Mimo, come here, my girl. Mimo. Oh, she doesn't feel like coming. I think that dog needs to get her eyes checked. I don't think she recognizes me with this cap on and this big bag on my back. So yeah, for nearly 5 years, we've been staying in this house. We've been making it more and more and more comfortable. And I would say we're about as comfortable as we're going to get right now, especially with this gorgeous scenery and this gorgeous weather. This is panning out to be one of our best years ever. Wow, look at this incredible bug. It was flying in the air and hit me in the face. I got a fright and I whacked it. It's this like iridescent, almost like copper looking bug. It's incredible. It's all shiny. Look at that. I'm going to try and see. I'm not sure what this is. I think I've heard about something like this before. I think I've seen it on like Facebook, but I've never seen one in real life. That is incredible. Look at that. I hope this camera's picking it up well. So this year I've kept the grasses growing in our olive grove. So Joaquim's got a little bit more grass because this sort of main olive grove section is quite big. The problem with it is going to be quite tricky for him to cut the grass all the way between these olive trees. So yeah, he's got his work cut out for him. We've got quite a few rows of them. But yeah, it looks like some decent grass. And obviously it wasn't sown or anything like that, but we do still have some cereals in it and wildflowers and clovers and things like that. So I think he's going to like this. I'm not sure if I pointed this out, but we have got so much blossom on these olive trees. In fact, I don't think I ever remember seeing it like this before. Last year we didn't have very many olives. It was actually a bad year for olives. The price of olive oil has like doubled. But this year it looks like all of the trees are just absolutely covered. I mean, these blossoms are all here. I believe last year what happened was we got a whole bunch of rain and storms when the blossoms came out, and then all of the blossoms dumped before they could kind of, I don't know, fertilize each other and turn into little olives. So that's why we had minimal olives. But this year it looks like they're all just brimming. So these flowers are spent now. I think they've pollinated, and hopefully these trees are just going to be absolutely jam-packed full of olives by the end of the year. I think it's a bit easier to see just how tall these fields are around this section, right where we have our dog fence and then this little area that I mow, and then you can see the grass. Oh, you can see the chickens for scale. Chicky chickies, buck, 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 buck. Come on, chicky chickies, chicky chickies, come on. That's their little food sound that they come to. You can see just down there, Gina's in the garden. She's got both of the doggies with her. It looks like she's got a book or something, and she's enjoying some farm life. I'm not sure why she's looking in that direction at the farmhouse instead of looking in that direction at the forest, or this direction down at the fields, but I think she's having fun. So I'm going to find myself some shade, and I brought a bottle of water with me. I'm starting to get very, very thirsty. It's Sunday. I've actually just launched a property video, and I haven't looked at what's going on there, so I just need to log in as well and just make sure that everything's good with that. I'm going to put a link up on the screen to that video, actually, do a little bit of promotion on my own video. It's a property video, one that I filmed yesterday in a really cool place in Guarda, so check it out if you're interested in a 2-bedroom sort of village house, mountain house for a decent price, and it's all nice and renovated, so yeah, check it out. What else can I tell you guys? We've got a mama hen. Oh, here she is. Look at this. It's a mama hen, and she's got 2 little chicks. She's actually a very fierce mama, so she's probably going to attack me if I get too close. But she's got the cutest little chicks. Now, we did actually have 5 chicks, and unfortunately this year we've lost 3 of them. It was really tragic, but we had a stone fall on 2 of them and crush them, and another one of them we tried to rescue. It got too cold. It was outside the nest, but unfortunately when we tried warming it up, we overwarmed it, and yeah, it was a real tragedy. We've actually never lost any before like that, so yeah, it's just one of those years where things have gone wrong. But look how cute these little guys are, man. I love seeing spring chickens on the farm. Unfortunately we only have 2, but I'm sure some of the other hens are going to hop on some eggs and we'll get some more chickens going again. This has been like the first year that I've had a really nice lawn going around the house. I've done it on other years, but obviously every year that I cut it, it just gets better and better. It does actually need a mow. I was going to do that this afternoon, and then Joaquim phoned me and told me he was going to be cutting this grass. So obviously I wanted to film that, but look how incredible it's looking. Sadly, I won't be able to keep all of this lawn for the summer because it's just going to take way too much water. It's a complete waste of water, and you know, we don't have a borehole or anything. We just have well water. But for the time being, how amazing it is to see the farm looking like this, with this beautiful green lawn and these beautiful flower fields in the background here, beautiful blue skies. We're all loving it. And so is Rui the rooster, aren't you, Rui? Right, so yeah, we have some bad news, and basically Nanook passed away. I don't know if you know who Nanook is. She's our Maine Coon cat, and she was 15 years old.
Coming up 16.
Yeah, and yeah, she was very poorly. She was very, very thin. She had pancreas problems. She had all sorts of issues going on. And yeah, on that day, she couldn't really walk properly anymore.
No.
And she was in a lot of pain. And so we found a vet that came to the farm and basically administered the sort of lethal injection to her. And yeah, and she passed away on Gina's lap.
Yeah, in the living room.
In the living room, all comfortable, much more comfortable than going to a vet. And
yeah, she hated being in the cat box and going to the vet, so it was really nice that we could find someone that would come here to administer. I'm sure everyone knows, it's such a difficult decision to make, whether it's the right time or the best for the cat, but the vet confirmed that her heart rate was so bad, and she was so skinny that it would have been like 24 hours or up to a week, but like she was just really struggling on the day we made the decision. And she was in pain, and at least it's kind of easier for us. We were both saying today that, like, you know, obviously when Masak, our dog, died, it was a trauma, it was a shock, whereas this was something that we decided, and it's made it easier. It's definitely made it easier to come to terms with. And so yeah, so we're down to 3 big furry pets now, from 5. I think Boyki, our male Mancoon, is missing her quite a lot.
Yeah.
He seems like he needs lots of snuggles at the minute. So we're both a little bit tender at the moment from that. And but anyway, these are the things, like when we share our lives, like on YouTube, we've got to tell you guys the bad stuff and the good stuff, you know. So we can't gloss over it. And
Yeah.
But, you know,
She was a sweetie, and she's not in pain anymore.
And she's with Dog, hopefully.
Yeah.
With Masak, snuggling up like
Yeah.
they used to. But that's very sad. But
It is.
It is.
Yeah, and here he is. This is our Maine Coon boy cat. This was Nanook's brother. He's a year younger than her. We bought from the same breeder. And he's very, very, you can see he's very down at the moment. So we're trying to give him lots of love and attention. And, you know, it is very, very sweet to see how much they cared for each other. And very, very sad too at the same time. Okay, let's go and see how far Joaquim is now with this grass cutting. Sure, it's proving to be quite a warm day today. I find when I'm like on my e-bikes and stuff like that, even if it's a hot day, as long as you have air going over you, it's not too bad. So I'm guessing that's what it's like for Joaquim on the tractor. You know, he's cruising along, he's got air going over him. Otherwise, if it's not, I imagine he's getting quite hot. Now look at this, looking so different, all cut down. I've been absolutely loving this spring. Just coming out here, and these fields were just absolutely teeming with life and greenery. It's just been so stunning. So kind of sad to see it all cut down. I know this looks all green to you right now, but believe you me, underneath all of this grass, it's going to get swept up in a couple of days. It's just like dust. All right, so it's about 20 to 7 now. Joaquim's been cutting the grass since, I don't know, I think about 3 p.m, 2:30, 3. The sun actually only goes down at this time of year at about 8:30, so the sun's still quite high in the sky. Since doing all of the fields, we just have a lot more flies than normal, and they're all congregating all around the door here. So yeah, this is what happens when you cut all the grass. The flies get really strong. Now Joaquim's on the bottom field, so I'm going to head on down there now. That's like our biggest field. We're going to go and check it out. Oh, actually, before we go there, this is something, I don't know if I pointed it out in my videos. I've got myself a nice Weber now. This is great. I've been doing chickens, like roast chickens, smoking them in this thing. It's absolutely fantastic. And I managed to find proper briquettes. So not just like charcoal pieces, but actual briquettes where they've compacted it into like a briquette, which you need when you use these Webers. And you can find this stuff at Auchan. Mima, out the way quickly so people can see. There, it says briquettes, and you can find these at Auchan. And I think they're €5 for a bag, and I get two barbecues out of each bag, which is not bad. And then you can get your own smoked chicken in one of these things. Yeah, I'm probably going to make a video showing all of that at some point, because my stepdad in South Africa, he cooks loads of roast chickens on his braai in South Africa. I'm kind of new to it. I do more sort of steaks and stuff, so he's going to show me how it's done, and I'll make sure to film that when we do. So we're all done in here. I wonder, has he managed to get right around the tree? Looks like, yeah, it looks like he has. Look at that, huh? Amazing. Joaquim is a real surgeon with his tractor. You know, he uses that thing like a surgical tool. It's actually driving one of those tractors. When I've driven it, it's actually incredibly hard or incredibly difficult to be precise with it, and yet he manages to like carefully go around trees and shave all of those little bits. With like an old Ford tractor like that is not a delicate tool, and yet he manages to drive so carefully. It's pretty amazing. Ah, look at that. This bottom field, the grass is exceptionally high. I mean, it's always good in this bottom field. It's the lowest piece of the land, so there's a lot of water down here. We have a nice big well just over here that always keeps this area quite wet, even in the summertime. I'm actually so glad that my stepdad Jeremy got to come and see the farm when it was completely full of grass and stuff, and now he's going to get to see the farm when like everything's cut, and well, when everything looks completely different. And look at this on this side. Okay, so this is me standing next to it. This grass is as tall as I am on this part. It's pretty amazing, huh? All right, so Joaquim is finished in the fields.
15 dias, 3 semanas.
Okay.
15 dias, 3 semanas, aquele.
And then alto.
Yes.
Exatamente. Okay.
Pronto.
Yeah, so,
Kenny.
yeah.
Tudo bem, tudo bem.
Tudo bem, yeah. Ciao.
Terminou para agora.
Ciao, Joaquim. It's time to relax.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Obrigado.
Ora, yes.
So Joaquim's basically done most of it. He's going to leave this last little bit in the bottom field. He said he's going to leave it for about 3 weeks, I think. And then, then he's going to cut it. He's going to give it time to grow. Ciao, Joaquim. So that's him for the day. He's cut everything else. And yeah, he's just leaving this little bottom piece. This is all going to get left to dry probably for a couple of days. And then he's going to come and bundle it all up. And yeah, so we got this little Brazilian strip. A little Brazilian strip of grass that's going to grow. It's not that tall down there because remember, this is the part of the farm that floods in the winter. And because of the flood, it basically, the grass isn't as tall. But he reckons this is going to grow up in the next couple of weeks, and then he's going to come and cut it. So I'll come and update you guys once we're doing all of the hay baling and all of that. That's like my favorite part. He's going to bring his machine that I call the hay pooper. And another year, another bumper harvest. Last year was a record harvest, and I think this year is going to smash those records. So we'll catch up with you guys in the next bit. Ciao.